All right. So, good morning and welcome back to the Weight Escape. I am super excited this morning to have Elisa Ellis joining us. She's a wardrobe stylist, and I'm super excited because I think a lot of us, especially as women, but I know men too, tend to get a little excited when buying clothes. And I know I just admitted to her that I am guilty of having from a size 6 to a 16 in my closet. I am guilty of having clothes with tags still on them because I bought them because I love the way they look, didn't try them on, just saw them on the rack and was like, oh my God, I love that. And I'm working out and I'm doing this, so I'm going to buy a size smaller than I actually wear. So I don't even know if it fits me. So I'm fully admitting I have clothes with tags in my closet, as well as clothes that I love the way I felt in 10 years ago that I refuse to let go of because I'm convinced I'm going to get back into them. And I know I'm not the only one that faces this because I talk to my clients about this all the time. So I was super excited when Elisa agreed to come on today because I don't think anywhere we actually really do learn how to fit clothes properly or what to keep or what to do or how to even feel good in our skin in our clothes sometimes. So thank you so much for coming on today. I'm super excited to hear what you have to say. And I know many of us probably need a good tune up or just to learn actually how to even deal with our closet.
Thanks so much for having me. I really appreciate it. It's great to be here. I yeah, there's so you mentioned a couple of things and I kind of wanted to touch base on them. So for the clothes that you have in your closet that have tags on them and you haven't quite worn them, aren't sure if they fit. So I would suggest that you try them on, and if they don't fit, give yourself a timeline: 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, especially if you're on a program, either exercising, trying to eat better, trying to lose the weight. And then after that, whatever timeline you've given yourself, especially if you're in our program, usually the 60 to 90 days is a better time frame, because then you're not like, I need to lose weight in 4 weeks. That's not really giving yourself grace. But to really think about letting those things go if they're not working for you, because as I tell my clients, there's some other. So the clients that I work with, I typically donate the clothes to a local women's shelter.
Oh, cool.
And so it's really easy for me to explain that there's a woman who just left an abusive relationship, some type of, maybe she lost her job. And so these clothes are not going to go to someone who's going to wear them, love them, and feel good in them. I want my clients to look good and feel good in the clothes, in clothes that fit the body they have now. Not the one they want, not the one they had. So next, I wanted to kind of comment on things that you have from 10 years ago. So here's the thing. I have clothes. I usually have a limit of 5 to 8. I have an outfit that I met my husband in. I have a suit that I wore to my first interview. And, those are things I probably won't fit into, but we attach memories to our clothes, right? Good memories, bad memories, important occasions. But here's the thing. If you have clothes in your closet you love because you want to fit back into them, even if you were to fit back into them, one, they may not fit you the same way that they fit when you originally had them. And two, I don't know about you, but my style has changed like every 5 to 10 years. I'm not the person I was when I was 20 or 30 or 40. And so it may not be the style that fits your lifestyle anymore. I mean, I had 2 kids. I had 2 boys. I would never wear white. I wear white now because my boys are grown. Heels. I used to wear heels all the time. And now I live in flats because I don't want to be uncomfortable. So there's just different things that you want to think about when you're holding on to those things, those clothes, and thinking about what is it really you're holding on to? Is it that you were holding on to the memory? You're holding on to who you think you want to be? It's really important to love the body you have now, the one that you're living with, because we need to remember to give ourselves some grace. I have clients that don't like their arms because they're flabby. So I remind them those arms hold your loved ones. I have clients who don't like their legs because they have varicose veins, or because they're not tan enough, they're too white, or I recently I worked with a client who had said she had stubby calves. And so I remind my clients that those legs carry you every day, to work, to walk your dog. They help you hold your children, whatever it is. We have to learn to love the bodies that we have and give ourselves some grace because it gets us around every day.
Totally true. Totally true. So if you were to have a client like me, who obviously has a whole bunch of stuff going on in their closet, where would you start? Like, what would you recommend? I mean, obviously things need to go. But how
Right.
would you
So I
recommend doing
usually start with going through your closet and figuring out what fits and
it?
what doesn't fit. And we usually start, I can't see your whole body now, but I would kind of do an assessment of whether or not you were an apple shape or a pear shape. There's different shapes. And so like an apple shape, you want a peplum type top that's going to come in, or wrap top that's going to come in at the waist to give you a waist. Same with a rectangle shape. You want to find clothes that flatter your body shape. And, I had a client yesterday, she used to be a pear, and now she's kind of more of an apple because she's gained a little weight and her waist isn't as defined as it used to be. So you have to kind of find pieces that will transition and work with you. But there's simple things like adding a belt or making sure that your clothes are proportional. If you're petite, it's really tough to wear super long jackets.
Mhm.
Maybe you should think about having a cropped blazer instead of one that's super long. But I'd have you try on your clothes. And if there's items that don't work for you, we decide, okay, they're just not working for you. They're not going to work for you, even if you lose weight or do X. And then there's some that we'd put aside and say, let's check on these in 30 days, 60 days, 90 days. And then there might be those pieces that, you know what, I really love this outfit. I don't want to give it up. Okay, so we put that to the side. And there might be others like I have a skirt. I love this skirt. I don't know what to wear with it. I had a client last week. We did a virtual session, and she had a long midi skirt with a floral print. And she's like, I love it, but I don't know what to wear with it. So we put it to the side. And then as we go through the rest of your clothes, we pull out pieces that might work with it so that you have some items to go with it. Or maybe in the end, you decide, I really love it. I don't have anything, but I'm not willing to buy something else to go with that. Or you might be, all you need is a pink tank top or a blue blouse, or it's really, that's the process. And then we talk about that, like the client I had this last weekend, she didn't have any print tops, and that's fine. But I love print because, like this one, I can wear blue, I can wear green, I can wear navy, I can wear white. I mean, it just makes it so it's really easy for me to mix and match what's in my closet in a drop of a hat. And so having some color and some print really helps you mix and match what you have.
I like that. I
And
never
then
thought of
yeah,
that.
and some people, like I have clients that don't like floral prints. That's fine. So let's look at an animal print or a dot print or just something different, because it makes it so much easier for you to mix and match your tops with your bottoms. I like to think that you should be able to wear any one piece with 3 other pieces in your closet. So like if we do personal shopping at the end, let's say you need a pair of slacks or a skirt, you want to make sure that those items work, whatever you're purchasing, work with something you already have in your closet. And then I want my clients to think about, is it going to last me for more than one season? Now, where you live, you actually have seasons. I live in Southern California where it's basically sunny year round. But, like my client in Ohio, she needed something that was a long sleeve that she could layer under a sweater or a jacket later in the year, as well as something she could just wear end of summer into fall. Um, you can't just buy something that's going to work for you one season. You need to think about investing in yourself and your wardrobe that will carry you season after season.
And do you find, like, so for those of us that do have seasons, because it's
I
true,
know,
you can't wear some things in December that you're wearing in July,
right?
right? But do you find, like, if you do have something that you just love and you're like, okay, this is a summer season, and maybe I could wear it under a sweater in the winter, or how does that kind of, how do you know?
Right. Well, we try and find pieces that will work for you for um, for more than one season. Like I have a client who has a really cute maxi dress, which is usually something you wear in the summer,
Yes.
but it was longer. It came to her calves. So the idea was, as she went into fall, in the summer, she'll wear it with a sandal and she'll wear it by itself. But as we go into fall and it gets a little cooler, then she can throw a sweater on over it, and then it'll just look like a sweater and a skirt, and she can wear it with a pair of booties. So, you just kind of have to figure out what you have in your closet that works. Same thing with, she had a pair of cotton capri pants that were a little bit long. They weren't super short, but they weren't super long either. And so because they're cotton, in the summer, she wears them with a tank top and with a sleeveless top. But in the winter, she would wear it with a V-neck or a turtleneck, and then pair it with a pair of booties. So simple things like that. There's also, picking lightweight pieces that you can layer with. I love to wear sleeveless or flutter sleeve tops because I'm in menopause and I have hot flashes every day. So I want to be able to have a blazer if I need to, if I go to a corporate event, but then I want the ability to take it off in case I get hot, or in the winter, if I want to, when it gets to like 70 degrees here, I want to be able to put on a coat if I need to. And the material's fairly thin, so I won't overheat. Whereas if I'm in Ohio or even Atlanta, I might put a turtleneck underneath it and then layer it and then put a blazer or some type of sweater if I need to.
I like that.
Yeah.
You're just making me think, because I think over time, I've never shopped with the intention of what do I have? Or occasionally it's been like, oh, I don't have pants for this shirt, but I haven't considered what sweaters or what other pants or things that I have. So I kind of feel like, listening to you, it makes so much sense, but I've got all these random scattered pieces, and I'm assuming I'm not the only one on the planet that does that.
Right. So you're totally right. Most women go shopping. So there's a misnomer. Some people believe women just are supposed to like to shop. Most women don't like to shop. I mean, we're busy, we have jobs, we have kids, we have spouses, and it's like one more thing on our plate. And some love it, and that's great, but most don't. And we feel guilty. Some of us feel guilty when we spend money, and we end up buying things one off. So what I typically do is I have clients, we go through your closet, we figure out what you have and what you need. Because you may not need, I had one client I met with, and she had quite a few suits, but she was keeping the blazer and the skirt together, or the blazer and the slack together. When if she would mix and match them, she had like 20 to 30 new outfits just by pulling them apart and mixing and matching all the separates. And so that actually saved her money. A lot of people think, oh, I can't have a wardrobe stylist because it's too expensive. That's for, fancy people, whatever you want to say. But really, I'm all about helping you save money and helping you find what you really need as opposed to what you don't need. And like that one-off skirt, okay, do you really love it and it's comfortable and it fits your body? So, okay, then maybe it's worth it to try and find a top that will go with it. Or maybe it's just not fitting you and you're not comfortable and you don't feel confident and beautiful in it. Then it's time to let it go and replace it with something that works for you. Or maybe a top that will go with another skirt and a pair of pants and some other item. I believe in affordable fashion completely. You should be buying it on sale, and you should have a list when you go shopping of what you need.
So I love that, because I think it actually even relates a lot to what I do. But I'm curious, like when you say have a list, so should you kind of, maybe on a weekend when you actually have time, is kind of think like, I work, I do this, I exercise, these are the kind of outfits I need. This is what I have now. This is what I need to go, stock my closet, for lack of a better way to say it. I'm thinking more like groceries, but, to set me up for success when I do want to get dressed or when I do want to go out, rather than as I'm bad, oh, I have an event coming up, so I'm just going to go buy something.
Right. Exactly. So when COVID started, I started this series on Facebook where every day I went on and I help people go through their closet. In fact, I'm offering the top 10 tips to clean out your closet as part of this.
We'll make
and it's basically kind of taking stock of what you have. A client that I worked with last week, she had, as I mentioned, all solid color shirts, and they were all long sleeves. That's great. But in the summer and the spring, when it's really warm, it's tough for her to find things that are comfortable to wear. So the reason she has long sleeves is because she doesn't like her arms. So she either has tank tops and she wears a blazer, or she has long sleeves. So we talked about finding flutter sleeve tops, short sleeve tops that will make it so that she doesn't have to hide. She's hiding with the blazer and she's hiding with the sweater, so that she can just wear a blouse with short sleeves, and then finding things that have patterns in them so that she can mix and match it with 3 or 2 other things at least. For a long time, I needed a red cardigan. I like to wear separates, as I mentioned. I mix and match, so I have a top, a bottom, but I really needed something with a pop of color so that I could throw it on. So like this, I will wear with jeans, a shorts, a skirt, but I can also throw a blazer on and wear nice slacks, and it still works for me professionally or casually. That's another great thing, is you want pieces that are going to go from casual to professional, that you can dress up with a blazer or a cardigan. But I probably spent less than $20 on it at the loft, because I wait and I get it on sale. I sign up for the emails. I know we don't need emails, but when you sign up for emails with companies, especially now, they send you coupons for 10%, 15%, 20%. And some companies, when you shop, let's say you're shopping online, you shop, you put things in your cart, you're logged in, 2 days later, they will email you and say, do you still want this? Here's another coupon for you.
Right.
Or they'll tell you when their sales are coming. I just got an email from Law. I'm not doing a Loft commercial, but I got an email saying they 60% plus 15% off everything.
Oh,
Okay,
God.
well, I'm going to go look at my list and see what I need. I don't need anything right now, but I'm still going to look because it's a ridiculous price, and it's a great way to get what I consider your basics. You should have a blazer, a skirt, or a pair of slacks, depending on, for a long time I didn't wear skirts. And then for a long time I didn't wear slacks. Pick what works for you in your lifestyle. And a top with color or print, a button down, because it always works, and a dark wash pair of jeans. Now, you have to kind of work with that. If you're a stay-at-home mom and you live in jeans, okay, stick with the jeans and a color top. But, and a dress, a basic dress. It could be black, it could be navy, it could be a color, but you want a dress because, like you said, you could have some event that you need to go to and you're supposed to wear a dress. So you throw on the basic dress and you add a scarf or earrings or a cute belt, and suddenly it's, you can go from casual to fancy really easily with a few accessories.
I love what you said about that too, about your list and the email list, because if you do kind of know what you're on the hunt for, when those
Right.
things come out, you're not in a rush, or you're not doing what
Right.
I'm famous for, of scrambling at the last second trying to buy something.
Right.
And you can actually be like, oh, I've been actually eyeing that shirt, or that's exactly what I need. And, if I'm in a position where maybe due to COVID or things, you don't have the extra income, it's a great time to
Right.
pick stuff up.
Yeah, there are a lot of companies right now due to COVID that are having 50, 60, 70% off, simply because they have their spring line still. Then they got all their summer material, all their summer clothes, and now they have to figure out how to get rid of spring and summer because fall's coming. I mean, if in some of the stores, fall season's already here.
Yeah.
So they have all this backlog of clothes that they have to get rid of. And it's not just for women's clothes, men's clothes, especially with Brooks Brothers, Men's Warehouse. There's a multitude of men's clothing brands that are either going bankrupt or they're reorganizing, and they're having sales left and right. It's a good time to take a look at those things.
So something you said about patterned clothes, because I'm very athletic. I obviously do a lot of fitness for a living, and I am your typical black, gray, blue girl. Like, it just, I was always told, if you're not sure, wear black, right? Like, black's always slimming, black's always slimming. And I've always been afraid of color. So I would love to hear, how do you get out of that bubble? Because color sometimes scares the pants off of me, I'll be honest.
Right. And I totally get that. And prints, for years I didn't wear prints because they told me because I'm a big girl, I shouldn't be wearing prints. Well, I've reached an age where I really don't care what people say. And I believe that if you're comfortable in it and confident in it, that's the energy you're going to exude. If you're in something that's you feel like you're rocking it, then you're just gonna rock it. You're not alone. A lot of women wear black. And I just worked with a client last week. She has almost all black. Here's the thing though, you really have to look at how you look in color, because for her, it accentuated her dark circles. It accentuated the darkness, the dark roots in her hair. She really had sandy blonde hair, beautiful. And so the minute we put an orange rust color, she instantly lit up and her skin looked better. Her eyes popped because they're a blue green, and her hair looked fabulous because this orange rust color was picking up all the freckles and the highlights in her hair. I have other colors that have blue eyes, blue green eyes, and when I put blue or green up against them, suddenly they look like they're smiling, and they're not even, they don't even have to do anything. So color really makes a huge difference. Like I can't wear gray because it completely washes me out. I wear black occasionally, but it's not my best color. And so I suggest to clients, well, when I work with them, I put different colors up against their skin to show them what really works for them. And then just because, like, I look great in a rust color, but I don't look great in a bright orange. Even though it's on the same spectrum, it doesn't necessarily mean it's always gonna. I look good in a yellow gold, but I don't look good in a yellow, a mustardy yellow. But I look great in a bright yellow. So you just have to take some color. I know it's tough right now because not everybody's going shopping in the store, but take different colors. And while you're standing in the reflect, like in sunlight, basically, look at yourself and see if you can see a difference between wearing black or gray or yellow or orange or even red. Some people look beautiful in jewel tones, and some people look fabulous in pastels. And some have a range of, these 2 or 3 colors that really make their eyes pop, their freckles, whatever it is that you have some blonde in your hair. So it could be, working with different colors really brings that out. And when you work with some color and some print, it again makes it easier to mix and match. I know black is easy, but color and print can be just as easy.
Sounds like it could be fun too, though, to try. Like even if
Absolutely.
it doesn't work, you could still have a laugh out of it, right? Be like, oh,
Right.
nope, but
Right.
not.
Absolutely. And I really believe, even if you're not sure of something, if you put something on and you're uncomfortable, that's why I like to have my clients try things on, because sometimes we have things in our closet and it's there and we go to reach for it, we put it on and it doesn't fit, and we're like, oh yeah, this is too tight in the arms, or okay, so then, and then you put it back when really it doesn't fit. So why are you putting it back? But the idea is to put it when you're uncomfortable and it doesn't fit. That's the kind of aura you're going to exude, is the uncomfortable and not quite sure of yourself, as opposed to putting something on that makes you feel fabulous and fits perfectly. That's the confident. And like for years I didn't wear orange because when I was little my dad told me I looked like a pumpkin when I was wearing orange, and that stuck with me. But as I got older, I'm like, who cares? I'm gonna look like a pumpkin, but I don't. It just depends on the color of orange that I wear. And if it is too orange, I tend to, shy away from it because that's still in the back of my head, that, mantra that I look. So I have to try not to look like a pumpkin, but I still wear different colors of rust and orange because I think some of them look fabulous on me and I can exude that and feel confident in it.
I like that. And I like what you said though too about even, sometimes we avoid things because we've heard
Right.
either as a child or, maybe you're starting a career and you showed up all excited about something one day and someone made a comment. And so you've just
Right.
kind of shied away from it. But on that line, I would love to bring up another little issue that I have of buying clothes that are too big to hide, especially when
Yes.
I'm, having a rough day or, not feeling my best. And it's like, I like that, but I actually don't buy the right size because I feel like just that little bit bigger is going to hide the pieces I don't like, when really it actually makes me look like a pumpkin or a rounder or
Right.
actually awkward sometimes, just flat out
Yes.
awkward.
So I have a client that recently I worked with, and she realized that she was buying her clothes too big because they took some pictures at a family event. And she looked at them and she was horrified. And she realized that she looked shapeless. And
Mhm.
that's what happens. It's very common as women get older or as we gain weight, or if we're not really sure of our size or are uncomfortable in our size because we've gained weight, or even some of us that have lost weight, we buy clothes that hide us and are shapeless and are black. So a lot of women I know buy heavy cardigans, and then we pull them closed in front of us to hide our chest, to hide our stomach. Some people wear blazers that are too long, too big. Some just buy loose fitting tops that have no waist. And here's the problem, there's no beginning or end. And
Mhm.
so you end up being, even if you're not an apple shape, you end up being this large blob. And so what I encourage my clients to do is to find clothes that actually fit the body they have now. And what ends up happening, like yesterday, the client I worked with, or this weekend, she said she feels like she lost 10 pounds. And I've actually had multiple clients reach out to me and tell me that people are asking them if they've lost weight. Because what happens is when you start wearing the right size and start showing off the shape that you have, you instantly look slimmer. I had a client who was wearing a medium. She was actually an extra small petite. And so that's a lot of material around your body.
Mhm.
And so just by buying the right size, you instantly look slimmer. And there's still ways to hide, let's say your tummy or your arms or whatever body part that you're uncomfortable with. When I encourage my clients to buy belts or tops that cinch at the waist, there's still ways to have the material be a little blousy. So my clients who are uncomfortable with, let's say, their muffin top. Okay, so tuck in your top, but blouse it out a little bit so that there's nothing snug around your muffin top.
Mhm.
Buy the right size jeans. Don't buy them too big because otherwise they're going to look saggy and they're going to make your bottom of your legs or your legs look larger than they actually are, which we don't need. We don't need our butt to look bigger or our legs to look bigger. So, and then finding clothes that fit the shape that you have. And if you don't know what shape you have, then find out. It's really easy to find out if you're an apple shape or a pear shape, a triangle shape, and then pick the clothes that fit that body. And it will help you define your waist. Like someone who's a pear, you want to buy, let's say, a bell bottom or a flare pair of jeans because it helps create an hourglass shape. It helps give you a waist. It helps balance out your hips and thighs. Some women who are large chested, you want to define a waist and, find a pair of pants that's going to provide some curves for you. So it's just about figuring out what works for your body type. And I'm going to say an important thing is making sure you have the right foundation as well. So I'm going to guess that a lot of women have not gone to be fitted properly for the proper bra, and that can make all the difference in the world. And or the last time they purchased a bra was more than a year ago. So that's really important when you're trying to find things that fit your body and look your best.
So would you, I mean, only because I've run into this recently, and I mean, I'm in my 40s and finally went to a proper store and had a
Yes,
proper bra fitting because while some of the box stores mean well,
yes,
not really educated, and being as athletic as I am, wearing a lot of sports bras, I just kind of guessed and I was so
right.
off, it was scary.
Yes,
And yeah, it was hard and it was a little bit, I felt a little bit embarrassed. But I think it was one of the best things I could have done for myself because now that I understand and I'm buying, appropriate things, I do feel better in my clothes and I do feel better when I
exactly.
put on a button up shirt. I mean, t-shirts are t-shirts, but when I do dress up a little bit, it does. It's just, I feel better.
Yes,
It made me realize I'm probably not the only one that's in my 40s finally doing this properly for the first time.
right. No, absolutely. And here's an interesting thing you just mentioned. You went and you found a bra that properly fit and you felt so much better. Imagine if you had a closet full of clothes that properly fit. It's life changing. So one of the things that I ask people to do, especially when I give a talk or a webinar, is I ask them to close their eyes and imagine putting on an outfit that fits their body perfectly. Like there's just a feeling, you know what it looks like, you know what it fits like, And people instantly like sit up
Mm.
because it's instantaneous, this confidence and this energy of, oh, how amazing would that be? And then I tell people, imagine if you had that every day. It makes a huge difference. And so putting on a proper bra can make all the difference between, if they're I mean, I'm going to be silly and say hang down low versus up where they're supposed to be, or something that's not cutting into you on the sides, or something that you just can't wait to take off at the end of the day. It really makes a difference, and it is uncomfortable for women to go in and have someone fit them. I actually just went into a department store this last week because I needed a new bra. I try and have about 4 different bras so that you can rotate them. And then what I try and do is replace them once a year, once every once a year, year and a half. Because what happens is the elastic goes out of them, and they stop holding you the way they're supposed to. But because of COVID, they couldn't touch me.
Right.
So I basically had to measure myself, which is you can do. You measure your chest under your breast, and then you have to try on about a minimum of 5 bras, because every brand fits you a little differently. So the band shouldn't be too tight, shouldn't be too loose. And then depending on the company or brand, the cup size could be one cup size, or it could be a different cup size. So it's really a process. It's not like you go into a store trying a pair of 10 pants and they're going to fit. That's not the way it works. Um, you have to try on 3 or 4 to see if they actually fit properly. Sometimes 10. I think I probably tried on 8 before I found one that really fit. And then that doesn't even include the wireless, the bralette, the full figure, I mean, molded cup, lace cup. There's everything under the sun.
I love what you said though about, like, when you tell people to imagine what it would feel like to put clothes on and feel amazing. Because I know, like, particularly, I have 1 or 2 outfits that do make me feel like that. But I have a whole closet that doesn't.
Right. And that's the norm. The norm is you stand in front of your closet in the morning and you have a closet full of clothes that don't fit, that you don't really like, or that you're tired of wearing. And so when I work with clients, I really try to help them get rid of what's not working for them and help them make things that they wear all the time look like new. It could be, I have a client who wore all black. That's all she wanted to wear. She was like a Steve Jobs. I just want the same over and over. But she got tired of wearing the same thing. So she bought a couple of necklaces that were versatile. She could wear them different ways. And suddenly she had people telling her she looked fabulous. She was wearing the same clothes, but because she added a different focal point, which was jewelry, the necklaces, I think she bought a pair of earrings too, it changed the look of the outfit. And so suddenly people were noticing the jewelry instead of the outfit. And even though she was wearing the same thing, she instantly felt better about herself and how she looked. So it's little tweaks that can really make a huge difference. You want to start with clothes that fit the body you have now, and then you want to accessorize sometimes and learn how to mix and match with different things, with prints or different colors or styles that are more flattering to your body shape.
Mm. Never would have thought of half of those things.
But it's really easy, I try and I did a blog recently about accessories because, not a lot of women wear belts, but it's a really fun and inexpensive way to add a different focal point. I mean, we're talking less than $20. You can find things at Nordstrom Rack, Gap, what have you. Things with fun, tortoise shell or skinny silver or braided, and it changes the look of your outfit. Some women are not into jewelry, so how about a cute little scarf, an ascot from eons ago? But it changes the look of the outfit. Or for some women, maybe a headband or a hair clip that is fun and whimsical. For me, it's really these glasses. I love colorful, fun, big glasses. That's my thing. I can't see without them, but I have red, I have green, I have blue, every color under the sun. And it just changes the focal point. Some people don't even notice what I'm wearing. They're talking about my glasses. Makes a huge difference.
Yeah. Well, I can't get out of my mind since you've said that about what it would be like to get up in the morning, put clothes on that I feel good in on a regular basis and not just once in a
Right.
while, or not just slapping something on and being like, oh, good enough because I'm running out the door.
Yes. So it's a process
Yeah.
and you have to give yourself grace and it's not going to happen overnight. It's going through your closet and being willing to let go of what's not working for you and being willing to say, this works for my body now. I'm going to keep this. And maybe saying, I'm going to buy a pair of pants that fits size 10, size 8, whatever your size is now, I'm worth that. And you could buy them at Marshall's, TJ Maxx, or Neiman Marcus. I don't care. You buy something, but when you buy something that fits you now, not, oh, if I lose 3 pounds, or these should work because if I gain 5 pounds, I'm okay. That's not what you want. You want something that fits you and you feel good in it and you feel like you look good in it. And if you're not sure, just call me or send me a picture. I have clients that send me pictures and say, what do you think?
Mm,
Or I have clients that send me pictures and say, thank you so much. I feel so put together. And all I did was, throw on a belt and a pair of earrings. It's really, and someone asked me, don't you think people are like secretly not doing what you tell them to do after you leave? And I'm like, um, actually, I know they're not because they send me pictures saying, thank you so much for, just these little tweaks make a huge difference in daily, everyday life. Something as simple as a necklace or a belt or a pair of pants that properly fits, or, just those little tweaks can make a huge difference. And then suddenly you don't want to wear the clothes that don't fit you.
right.
You don't want that. You want to find pieces that work with what you have and that you feel good in. Plus, it makes it way easier and quicker. Instead of standing there for 5 minutes trying to figure out, oh, do I want to wear that again? Or, oh, that doesn't fit. It's, oh, yeah, I'm going to wear this and this and this. And you're done.
Mm.
Super easy.
You make it sound easy.
That's the ultimate goal, right? Because here's the thing, if you clear out what's not working for you, then you really are limited with what's left. And so it's really easy to see, okay, I really need a skirt, or I really need a pair of jeans. Or, I had one client, she probably had 15, 20 pairs of jeans. And when we were done clearing everything out, she probably had two
Wow.
that fit and worked. She was older, so some had too many holes, some were too short, whatever it was. So she was like, you know what, I'd really like a nice dark wash pair of jeans. Okay, perfect. And that's going to help her, get through her week. Just depends.
Yeah,
So
that
what do you
makes
need?
sense. Totally makes sense. Totally makes sense. Yeah, because how do you know what you need if you're sitting there with all the stuff just sitting there, right?
Right. And so then when you shop, you end up buying more of what you don't need because you don't know what you have in your closet that, aside from the black and the gray that you have to work with. And because you don't feel good in your clothes, you tend to buy things that aren't going to work for you because you're like, it doesn't work anyways.
Right.
It's a very cyclical
Yeah.
thing that we get into. And instead of feeling like we're worth it and we deserve it, we're like, it's not important. Doesn't matter. But it does matter because how you show up every day matters immensely,
Right.
I believe.
No, I totally agree with you. I couldn't agree with you more. Yeah. I just really appreciate you coming because I don't think, I mean, like I said, I'm in my 40s and this is the first time I've actually really had a conversation other than my girlfriends who
Right,
mean well and I love them to pieces
right,
and they're like, this looks amazing on you, wear it. And they're
right,
right at times. But I think it's something that we just really don't know much about. Like, how do you fit for yourself? And how do you know if you're an
right,
apple or a pear? Or maybe if you are able to figure that out, like, but then what suits that, right? And how do I then
right,
go and what are those staples and those basics that, you build from? I don't think any of us
right.
get taught that or know unless you
No,
go searching for it.
right. Absolutely. You have to go searching. So that's why I'm here to help.
I love it.
But really easily, if you measure your shoulders and measure your chest, measure your waist, and then measure your hips. And your hips are the widest part of your bottom. Okay. You take those measurements, and from there, you'll be able to tell, typically a pear is wider in the hips and you have a waist that goes in. An apple is typically more oval. And so the measurements are all kind of equal. A rectangle is more equal, but it's more of an athletic build, similar to an apple, but it's just straight up and down. And then you have some people that are the opposite of the pear. It's where their shoulders are much broader than the rest of their body. So it's what's called like an inverted triangle.
Okay.
And then once you have those measurements, then you can, look up, what does a pear wear? I have, handouts that I send out through my newsletter and email, and I talk about it on Instagram and Facebook. But, there's ways to know that you should be wearing a V-neck or a square neck or a boat neck or a crew neck. It just depends on your body shape.
Well, you're giving our listeners some tips, right? You've got a.
Yes, I'm going to give you the top 10 tips to clean out your closet. And I always suggest that you do it in small batches. My first tip is, for 30 days, turn around the hanger every time you wear something.
Ah.
So I know COVID is a little different because we're not wearing what we might normally be wearing. But every time you wear something, when you put it back, if you put it back, even after you've washed it, you turn the hanger around. And after the 30 days, you should be able to see, okay, I'm wearing the same things. Okay, now what am I going to do with the rest of the closet? Now, some of it could be seasonal because you live in a place with seasons, and that's a little different, but you still should be going through and trying them on and figuring out if they work for your body and they fit. And then there's other tips that will help you go through that. And then I'm also doing a 30-minute style strategy session for anyone who wants to get started on what might work for them, what might not, if if a style session is really what they need, or if they just want tips on how to get started and do it themselves.
That's amazing. Thank you. I really appreciate
Absolutely.
that. Like I said, I would never have, had I not stumbled upon you through somebody else. I don't know if I would have taken the time to really think about it, but yet now, since we've been interacting about setting this up and even chatting, it's just like, yeah, I actually do deserve to feel good on a daily basis.
Absolutely.
And I do deserve to go out into the world at my best.
Absolutely.
If you're someone that's working on your health and working on your wellness, why not have those outsides reflect the insides too? Like, it just makes sense.
Well, and it's really important to be conscious, especially if you're working on your weight, how your clothes fit, how they make you feel. I know if I put on something schleppy, I'm not showing up as my best self. And to be honest, I don't have any sweats. I don't own sweats. I own a sweatshirt that I wear when it's cold outside to walk, but I don't wear, and I know, a lot of people wear athletic wear and joggers, and that's what works for them. But that I don't feel good in those. So I don't wear them. So I try and find things that I feel good in. And then hopefully, it doesn't matter if I quote unquote look good, because I feel good, I'm going to look good. I believe that. Yeah.
That's true. If you feel good. Yeah. I think you're right. When you said that energy that exudes, it's true.
Oh, absolutely.
When you've got the right things that fit, you sit a little taller,
Yes.
you lift it up a little bit bit more energy comes out of your eyes, a little bit more, like you say, you exude that energy.
Absolutely.
And that's what's going out there too. And that's what's going to come back.
Yeah, absolutely. And we deserve it. I mean, we tend to fill everybody else's cup and we forget about our own. And it's so important to remember that when you fill your own cup, you're going to serve everybody else better.
I love that. And it's true. So thank you so much. We will have
Absolutely.
all of our contact information so you guys can sign up for the tips. So we'll have that all listed, as well as a way to book with Elisa and take advantage, like jump on it. Because when do we get the chance to kind of take that chance to better ourselves in ways that we maybe aren't thinking about right now? And with COVID and with everything else, find something a little bit more positive. And this could be something that really turns your day around, your week around, your month around, or just changes the way you feel about yourself going off into the world every day. So
thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Appreciate your time.
Have a good one.
You too.